Look, nobody likes to be considered a peasant.
No, in fact, I used to hunt peasants for fun.
You hunted pheasants.
No, peasant.
Do you know that the H is silent?
P-H? Peasant?
Yeah.
No, it's peasant.
The bird with the big tail feathers and the green kind of neck.
No, I was in a group that we would find 3 poor people, send them into the wild, and then we'd kill 2 of them, and the third one got to eat for free. Peasants.
You hunted peasants. Okay. All right. Well, today we're going to help people escape that fate.
Peasantry.
By rising out of the ranks of peasantry.
That's right. You don't want to be a blues poser peasant.
No, you don't.
You want to be a rock prince.
That's
so
right.
play a lick, but play it peasant style.
All right. Look, peasant style is you've got a pentatonic scale that you learn, and it's a shape, and you just play the notes.
Sounds like good eating for me.
Wait, you ate them? Or did you just hunt them? All right, let's move.
Now, what about a prince? How would a prince play that lick?
So a prince would add some bends and some vibrato, and they would maybe go...
Woo! All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Sounds like you could be in my group there.
No.
Excellent.
I would be honored.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So first, let's learn the notes. Just the notes. Minor pentatonic.
Sure.
Blues, solo, whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody knows these.
That's right.
What are you working with there?
So I'm working on the first position of the E minor pentatonic scale.
Mm-hmm.
All the notes are on the there are only 2 notes per string for this shape, and the first notes are always on the 12th. So the whole shape, just so you have it if you don't know it, is 12, and then 15, 12, 14, 12, 14, 12, 14, 12, 15, 12, 15.
There you
Super
go.
easy.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we're playing are, we're starting on the high E string, we're playing the 12th fret, and then we're just walking the pentatonic shape back. Right? All the way until we hit the 14th fret of the A string, and then we're going back to the G string, and we're going to hit the 12th fret.
Yep.
And then the 14th fret.
It's when you rewind it.
That's right.
Peasant style. Now, once again, Prince style.
That's right.
So good,
That's
so
right.
tasty.
Tasty.
Like a pheasant.
That's, yeah. That's right. So the one thing you'll notice is that, like, when I show you this little lick, I'm starting here, but whenever I play it Prince style, I'm not starting there, because if you know anything about fretboard mastery...
Really? I'd like to know more about fretboard mastery. How can I learn?
There's going to be a link probably in the description of this course to the Udemy.
Yeah. We made a MasterClass about this.
We made a fretboard MasterClass.
For a very reasonable price.
That's right.
Which you can get for a limited time only.
That's right.
By clicking on that link and signing up. Backing tracks galore.
That's true. We did do a lot of backing tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So because I know and I have mastered my fretboard, I know that this note and this note are the same. So instead of playing this and sounding scaly, right, and shapy, we're going to bend.
Get that B string into the high E string spot.
That's right.
Because that high E string, it's hard to really do a lot with that. Because if you really kind of put too much sauce on it, you're off the fretboard, you know?
Right,
it's like, oh, 12th fret.
Yeah.
You're gone.
Yeah, very very mild amount of mustard that you can put on the high E. But, man,
B string.
Yeah, B string can
get crazy.
So
load it up.
So what you want to do is, and this is also just kind of a lesson of general bending tips, right? So you want to have 3 fingers, your index, middle, and ring finger, right next to each other. And I also like to put my knuckle on the fretboard, almost like I'm really gripping the fretboard. You don't have to. You can keep your hand loose. And what I'm doing is I'm creating a structure so that when I play this note and I push up with this finger, the other fingers will follow.
There you go.
And so one of the things that you can practice when I first started bending is I would play the note, and then I would try to bend.
Yep.
Off. That's pretty close,
Find
right?
the same note.
Yeah, just try to find the same note. And
a lot of times I see beginners are like, oh, bend it, and they'll play like...
Right,
they'll use one finger.
That's right.
When it's really about teamwork, the teamwork of these 3 fingers working together.
That's right.
Like when I first started hunting the homeless for sport, I would just do man on man.
Right.
But then once I got into a group of 3...
Right, one of you guys have a bolo, you trip in.
Yeah, it's so much easier, trust me.
It's way easier.
So much easier. This is exactly what it's like.
Well, so vibrato is something that's really important in your playing, so that you can separate yourself from being a peasant and being a prince, right?
Yeah.
And so, one of the big lessons that for me when I first started doing vibrato is not just to go like, right. So like think about the tempo of the song, and then think about like a quarter note, like, right, maybe an eighth note, right? So, then you can go like. Right, you know, and then you can maybe do 16th notes or 32nd notes if you really want to, but you know.
Sure.
So the idea is trying to find the rhythm, and I mean, by all means, you can go crazy. You know, you can go faster and slower.
Yeah, for effect.
Right.
But do it as an effect, not because that's all you can.
That's right.
Do,
yeah. So if you're doing one finger bends and you're just like whack, you know, it doesn't. So that's the first part of the lick, and you can take your time here. You can do this as like a bend and then go right into the lick, or you can hold it and you can.
And it's a great way to create space, too, by taking that. Because it's really, you know, we're thinking of it as kind of like one note.
Right.
But if you think of these as like micro little notes being bent back and forth, then it's like something that you can do to kind of tastefully add space to your lead lines.
That's right.
Is that right?
Yeah, so you can either say that you're tastefully adding things to your lead lines, or you can throw a little mustard on it.
Oh, yeah.
Throw a little spice on it. A little spicy mustard. Right.
You know
so
I like it, yeah.
That's right. So then what we're going to do is... And we can come down, and you have two options. You can hit this note again when you come down. You can, which I like, or you can just. It's up to you. However you want to do it. But so for me, I'm gonna play the note on the way down. So we bend at the 15th fret of the B string. Play the 15th. Play the 12th, and then play the 14th on the G string. And when we get to the 12th fret of the G string, we're going to kind of rake the string back with our index finger. So what I'm doing is bending the note out of tune on purpose, right? So for this one, I'm not trying to make it sound like the 14th fret, right? I want it to sound nasty. And you know, Sean, honestly, I don't have a good way to explain that one finger rake. What do you
so when you're like coming down on like here, it's kind of like that. It's a very bluesy note, like the 12th to the 13th fret. Right. It's the same idea that like there's a blue note in there that is kind of out of tune. Yeah. You know, you're kind of just bending a semitone-ish. Right. Because the whole point of that out of tune note is it's not in the scale. Right. So you could be perfectly out of tune, a semitone, or you could be just slightly. Right. So that's kind of the way that I see it. You know, it's just you're just pulling on it.
Yeah, and you know, it makes it sound a little more interesting. So from there we have the 14th fret, we pull on it, and then we're going to do the same exact thing. So we're doing the 14th fret of the G string, 12th fret of the D string. We're going to do the same thing but with the D and A. So we're like, whew, and that's it. And see, it is up to you in this song whether you or whether you do it fast or how much.
There you go. I really like adding that vibrato on top
at the end.
Yeah, I think that's like a really cool bluesy, princely thing to do.
So here's the thing: try this. Take the guitar fretboard masterclass, and then learn how to do that everywhere, because that lick works. You know, it works everywhere.
Oh, you hear
right?
it.
And so you can play that in any key, and you can, obviously modify it to add different melodies or things like that. So, yeah.
I want to talk about one more thing that you did, where when you kind of pick raked into the B string.
I always do that.
I think that's something that like a lot of players do. Yeah. That I don't think a lot of like instructors really take time to talk about.
Yeah.
So what are you doing on that? It's more than just. It's not starting on the B string.
Yeah.
You kind of pick raking into it, right?
This is so funny. So I'll do my best, and you might even be able to teach it better, because I don't even think I've ever taught it. It's just something that I've done.
It's something that a lot of just players just end up doing.
You know what?
Right?
I can actually tell you, I'm not even a huge John Mayer fan, but it was Live Where the Light Is, his Slow Dancing in a Burning Room. Cody Cook made me listen to that solo.
Cody Mansfield Cook?
Cody Mansfield Cook made me listen to it like 8 times, and he does kind of this rake, this mute into a bend at one part. I was like, oh, that is tasty. Okay, so basically I'm using the meat of my picking hand to kind of mute the strings. And so I'm also hitting the D string and the G string lightly, as I go in. So when I hit, that's what you're talking about, right?
You get a little bit of a noise that kind of builds into that.
Right.
Which I think is like a cool sound.
Yeah, and I think, sometimes depending on what it is, it might be like, I know another time I do it all the time, and actually, I don't think the John Mayer thing, I don't think he did it into a bend. If you're going to hit the high E, this is a fun tip, not related to the lesson. Mm-hmm. If you're going to hit the high E string, you can rake down and use an upstroke to hit this.
Oh, so instead of... Yeah, huh? Ooh, there you go. Nice.
So that's actually what I learned from that John Mayer song.
There you go.
So same thing. Muting it with the meat of my hand, raking down, and then hitting the note as I'm coming back up.
Perfect.
So if you do, that combination of ways for you to like... It's just now you sound like a prince already.
A rock prince.
I can
royalty.
tell.
Absolute royalty.
Yeah.
No hunting this guy for sport. I'll tell you that much.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, so definitely, I think we've earned your trust to click that link below.
That's right.
And take this masterclass rife with elite backing tracks from the royal court.
Yeah.
Etc.
That's right.
And then let us know what you think in the comment section. Instagram, Twitter, or the website.
Yeah.
Talk to you all soon.